Okay, so I had a comment on my previous video which was asking on how to manage love, crushes, relationships with your studies, with work, with productivity. And I thought, you know what? That's actually a very, very good suggestion because a lot of you are probably going through this, have gone through this, or are about to go through this. I certainly went through it. And it's something that a lot of people don't talk about. So I thought, you know what? Let me make a video on this and give you 5 steps on how you can manage your crush, your love, your relationship with your work, with your studies, and with productivity. So the first step that you have to do is give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel because this cub that you're seeing right now is going to become the next king for his pride and he needs all your support. I don't know why I said it like that, but okay, right. Jokes aside, the first step that you have to do is you need to control your emotions. Now, when I say control your emotions, this is what I mean. Right now, you have a crush on this person. Could be a guy, could be a guy or girl, whatever, right? And you're in love. So when you're in love, everything feels so rosy. Everything feels so, how do I say, you feel butterflies, you feel in heaven. Anything you touch, it feels good. Anything that you do, it feels good because you're thinking about them. Your juices are flowing inside. You listen to music and all you do is think about them and you feel good. You don't even care about your family because your mind is so engulfed in those emotions. You probably feel that, right? Because I certainly felt like that as well. And listen, it's okay. It's a nice feeling. I get it. Don't feel guilty or anything like that. Enjoy the feeling. That's great. Now, what you gotta be careful though, if that starts taking over your work, if that is starting to interfere with your work, your productivity, your studies, and now you're not able to think, you're not able to focus because that is literally on your mind 24/7. So what you want to do first is you need to find a way of controlling your emotions. So when I say controlling your emotions is, okay, I feel certain way about this person. Great, fine. We know that, no problem. But you cannot let that get to you 24/7 where all you're doing is thinking about them. And if that is the case, you need to take a step back and say, okay, whoa. Okay, I know I love this person. Yes, I'm in a relationship, I have a crush or whatever, but I'm overthinking. You got to take a step back and say to yourself, okay, I've got to stop this. Okay, you've got to do that physically because if you don't do that physically, no one's going to stop you because it's all in your mind. So just take a step back and say, stop. Okay, enough. I'm going to think about this person after I get my task done. When you find yourself getting emotional, take a step back, man. Like, yes, we are emotional creatures. Emotions are high. But when that happens, you've got to take the discipline and say, okay, whoa, okay, this is a bit too much. I need to take a step back. This is you controlling your emotions, okay? Because you don't want your emotions to control you. Be very careful of that. So don't let your emotions consume you. When that happens, when you realize, okay, I'm not actually doing any work, I'm not doing anything that's productive, this is your alert, a red alert that's saying to you, okay, I've got to stop this. This is not good. And you take the reins of that. So this is what I would say. For the first step, you need to control your emotions. Your emotions are not in control of you. You are in control of your emotions. Get that right. The second step, and this is going to sound harsh, is you need to understand your priority. Look, I get it. Yes, relationships, feeling in love, having a crush is all great. It's such a nice feeling. It feels good. But you have to understand, love is a feeling. It will go eventually. Once you're out of that emotional phase, you're going to come back to reality. So you need to understand what is your priority right now. Is your priority that relationship? No, and I'll say why. You're very young at the moment. Your priority should not be that relationship. If your priority is your relationship, you really need to look at yourself, okay? The relationship is a side thing. The love is a side thing. That's fine. But your priority right now is for you, your career, what you want to be in life. You need to work on yourself. Because if you put your priority right now at this age on the relationship, what are you doing about you? Like what improvement are you making on yourself? You're depending on the relationship. You're working on like, okay, I want the relationship to be great, but you're not even working on yourself. So you need to make sure you understand your priority. And your priority right now is you, no one else, okay? It sounds harsh, I get it. But you have to know that, okay, right now, I'm very young and I need to make sure that I improve myself. I need to work on myself. I need to get these studies, this work, these grades, whatever it is that you're doing. I need to make sure I do that first because I need to be able to stand up on my own 2 feet and be able to know that I'm going to go to places. Because if I can't even do that, what am I even going to give to the relationship? I've got nothing to give. Okay, so you need to get yourself out of that mindset and understand that your priority should be you, not the relationship. The relationship, the love, the crush is secondary. The third step is you want to improve your discipline. Now, discipline is a word that no one likes because they feel like, oh, it's such hard work. But you have to understand that when you're going through these emotions, when you're going through these lonely times, when you're thinking about that person and you're like, you have all those thoughts, right? You're kind of literally in heaven. You have to discipline yourself because your mind can literally take you to places without you holding yourself down. And discipline is literally saying things like, for example, you guys need to meet, you want to meet, or for example, to do something, but you've got some work to do. Discipline is you saying, listen, I can't do this today because I've got work to do, but we can meet another day. That's discipline. So you got to make sure that, you say no when you have to say no. You say yes when you have to say yes. But it doesn't mean that you say yes for everything. There's going to be times, remember, your priority should be you right now, okay? Right now, your priority is you because you're at the age where you're very young. You're very young. You still got so much to do, so much to learn, so much to improve on. Relationship should not be the main priority right now. So you need to be able to be disciplined in yourself to be able to say no to things that you can't do because you need to work and you need to make sure that you get your shit done. That is important. And if the other person is not able to understand that, then you have to ask yourself, okay, well, if you're not able to see it from my perspective, then what are we doing? Because obviously a relationship is two-way. It goes both ways. It's not just, oh, he wants this or she wants that, but they're not able to understand where you're coming from. So remember this. Be very hard on yourself in the sense that, okay, if you can't do it because you've got shit that you need to do and you have deadlines coming up, focus on that and say, no, I can't do that right now. We can reschedule for another time. The fourth step is you have to find other things to do so that you're not focused solely on this person or on this love, on this crush. Because when your mind is focused on just one thing, your whole world is about that person. But for you to be able to get out of that, you got to do other things, do other activities, go out, get some work experience, go and play a sport, go and play music, do other activities that's going to keep you occupied and keep your mind busy so that you don't have to think about that person 24/7. And when you're doing that, you're going to find yourself not rethinking about that person as much. Yes, you still care about them, you still love them, of course, no problem, but you're not going to find yourself thinking about them 24/7. And that's the important thing. Your life should be so many different things. It shouldn't be based on this one person. That is not your life, and it should not be like that because that is very dangerous, very toxic, and it will always lead to something that's not going to work out in the end, because you need to know yourself. You need to be able to do things for yourself, and you need to do things that's going to keep you busy, preoccupied, so that that one person is not your 100%, you're not thinking about them 100%. And to be fair and to be honest, that makes it more attractive to the other person. When you got so many things to do as well and you're keeping yourself occupied, they are more attracted to you because they can see that, you're not their whole world, or they're not your whole world, if that makes sense. So try and find things to do to keep you occupied. That will be another great way for you to stop thinking about them 24/7 and get you to do things that are actually more productive and get shit done. The fifth step is, and this one is a funny one, is you got to stop listening to music that reminds you of them. Okay, because every time you listen to music, you see what music does, right? Yes, there's lyrics and I get that side, but what the music does, especially if it's a certain type of music, the instruments and the music will get you to remind you of that person. That's what it does, right? Because it's a feeling, it's an emotional feeling that you're getting connected to the music, and the connection or the emotional feeling that you're connected to is that person, and the music is what's getting you to think about that person. Does that make sense? So what you want to do is try and change some music, man. Try and change things that will not remind you of that person so you can focus on your things and things that you have to do. Because every time you listen to music that reminds you of them, it only reinforces it in your brain, which means you can't stop thinking about them because now the music is in there, and also music has a very powerful way of engraving it in your mind. So start changing the music, because what you'll see is when you do that, you'll be able to stop thinking about them 24/7, and that will be a great way for you to just completely put that to the side and just focus on you. And one last important thing I would add is this: your priority right now should be you. It shouldn't be a relationship. You're too young for that right now, okay? You got so much life to live, so much experiences to go and learn, so much skills to go and learn. The relationship, the love, the crush should be a side thing. Your priority should be on you. You should invest on yourself right now before anything else. And as you start getting older and you start kind of getting more experience, you'll start to see for yourself, what is important for you, what is not important for you, and whether the timing is right, whether you want to go into a relationship, and then whether it be a marriage or not. But right now, the priority should be you. So I hope you've taken something from this video. If you have, give it a big thumbs up. Would really appreciate it. And remember this: everything starts from zero. When are you going to start? Peace.